The blue lantern in the tea house was never lit before midnight. It hung above the quietest table, the one beside the door, where travelers could leave without waking the room. No one knew who had brought it there. The owner said it had been hanging before his grandfather learned to boil water, and before the town had a clock worth trusting. By daylight, the lantern looked ordinary: blue glass, a brass rim, and a little chain darkened by years of smoke. At night, when the cups were washed and the floorboards cooled, the glass sometimes held a color like moonlight under deep water. When the lantern finally woke, it did not show ghosts. It did not show treasure, enemies, lucky numbers, or names written by fate. It showed tomorrow's regret. Not the large regret people practice speeches for, but the small one they almost missed until it was too late. A carpenter once looked into the glass and saw his own dinner chair empty. He had planned to stay late because a wealthy client wanted a cabinet finished before morning. In the lantern, he saw his wife sitting beside an untouched bowl and his son tapping a cracked flute against his knee. The carpenter paid for his tea, folded his measuring string, and went home before the last coal died. His son played a bad song, full of wrong notes and brave pauses. The carpenter listened to the whole thing, clapped once, and asked to hear it again. The next morning, the boy's fever came. For 3 days the house was quiet except for wet cloth, medicine cups, and whispering. The boy lived, but the carpenter never again laughed at bad music. A bride once saw a closed door and a ribbon left on the wrong side. Her wedding was at noon, and she had not invited the sister who knew all her childhood faults. Everyone told her pride was natural before a wedding, and that old quarrels could wait until after the feast. But in the lantern, the bride saw herself standing years later beside the same closed door, holding a ribbon no one wanted. She crossed the town before dawn and apologized to the sister she had not invited. By breakfast, both sisters were tying the same red thread around the wedding cups. After that, people came for the lantern more than for tea. They asked what they should buy, whom they should trust, and which road would make them rich. Most nights, the lantern stayed dark. It did not answer greed, and it had no patience for questions that already knew they were selfish. Some people grew angry and shook the table until the cups rang. Some people called it a fraud because it would not flatter them. The keeper only wiped the table and said that regret was a small lamp, not a market stall. One winter evening, the keeper found the lantern glowing before he had touched the match. The streets were white with snow, the tea kettle had gone quiet, and no customer remained except his own tired reflection. Inside the blue glass, he saw his own hand lifting the lantern down. He saw himself wrapping it in cloth, locking it in a wooden box, and sleeping well for the first time in years. For a moment, he wanted that future. He was tired of other people's sorrow, tired of cups gone cold, tired of watching strangers discover what they had neglected. Then a young stranger stepped in from the snow and asked for 1 cup of water. The keeper almost said the tea house was closed. The word closed had already formed behind his teeth, neat and easy. Instead, he left the lantern burning and set the cup on the quiet table. In the blue light, the stranger saw a road curving back toward a dark house. He saw a mother asleep beside a window, a letter unopened on the shelf, and a pair of shoes still waiting by the door. He whispered, "I thought it was too late to return." The keeper answered, "The lantern only shows regret, not orders." The stranger held the warm cup with both hands until the snow melted from his sleeves. Before dawn, he was walking home, slowly at first, then faster when the road began to know him. By morning, the keeper had placed 2 chairs by the door. One was for people leaving too quickly. The other was for people brave enough to come back. The lantern still wakes only after midnight. And when it does, the tea house becomes very quiet, because even a small tomorrow can change how gently someone closes a door tonight.